family, today we're looking at some of these spooky... Wait a second, what was that? Anyways, today we're looking at some of these spooky... What the chicken nugget was that noise? Family, today we're looking at some of these spookiest mythical creatures that really exist. Cause family, who is this? Family, today we're looking at 14 mythical creatures that really exist. Starting off with creature number 1, Toothless. Baby Nuggy! You're not Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. You are a chicken nugget from How to Eat Your Very Own Body. Cause honestly, Baby Nuggy, chicken nuggets really be delicious. Please. Sorry, bro. Family, smash like on today's video if you love Toothless or Baby Nugget. Or Baby Nugget Armless. Cause just like Toothless hides his teeth, Baby Nugget hides his armsies. JK LOL. He has none.
Oh man, family, smash like so I can get some arms.
Or comment down below if you want me and Baby Nugget to make some other videos about mythical creatures like this one. Ooh.
Humans have encountered countless mythical creatures.
Oh, it's Toothless! Oh. Wait a second. That's not Toothless. It's a different creature.
Maybe his cousin.
Ooh, maybe, Baby Nuggy. Let's keep watching.
But are these beings just legends, or did they actually roam the earth? Watch till the end to discover the truth. Number 7, unicorns. We hear about unicorns in fairy tales, but where did they...
Yeah, and I love them.
Same.
Thousands of years ago, people in the Indus Valley drew a one-horned animal on small stone stamps. Some believe they were just myths, but a real animal similar to them once existed.
Wait a second, family. Comment down below right now if you think unicorns are real or if you think they're just a myth. I think they're real.
Me too.
In the Ice Age, a massive beast called Elasmotherium roamed the land.
What
It looked
the?
like a rhino, had a horn as tall as a person, and was one of the largest animals humans ever hunted. But
Whoa.
climate change and modern humans led to its extinction. So unicorns weren't just legends. We just hunted them to death.
We just, whoa. Why would we hunt them down? For food? Family, everybody knows that unicorn poop don't taste good.
Number 6, dwarves. Dwarves have been in myths for over 1,000 years. But what if they actually walked among us? About 50,000 years ago, a small human species called Homo floresiensis lived on an island in Indonesia. They were much shorter than us.
Whoa, family, this is true. Because we see these amazing creatures in lots of different movies like Lord of the Rings and many more. But let's keep watching.
Tiny, people call them hobbits. Life was tough. They had to survive next to giant predators like Komodo dragons. But they weren't born small by accident. When bigger humans arrived 100,000 years ago, the island's isolation caused them to shrink over time, a survival trick called insular dwarfism. So dwarves weren't just characters from stories. We just never met them.
That is so cool. Family, over time, humans and other creatures evolve over time and adapt to nature so they stay safer. Smart.
Number 5, Yeti and Bigfoot. You've probably heard about a big hairy creature
Bigfoot?
walking on 2 legs.
Okay, I'm clocking out after big hairy creature.
Keep watching, Alexia.
Okay, fine, Baby Nuggy. Family, only if you go get Baby Nuggy at shopalexia.com. And even his sister, Saucy Nuggy, too.
Called the Yeti in the Himalayas and Bigfoot in North America. In 1951, climbers near Mount Everest found massive footprints in the snow. People thought they belonged to the Yeti, but
Baby Nuggy, those footprints are bigger than yours. Oh. Wait a sec. You don't have feet.
But I do know how to be stinky.
in 2017, DNA tests showed the prints came from rare Himalayan bears. So was the Yeti just a bear or something else? In 1967, a video claimed to capture Bigfoot in the wild. Many called it fake, but in 2022, when experts re-examined the video in 4K, they noticed the suit didn't match anything made by humans. And here's where things get wild.
Whoa.
3.7 million years ago, a small creature called Australopithecus walked upright in Africa. They were only 4 feet tall and had small brains, but they walked like us.
Is that supposed to be a diss? And had small brains? Are they calling them not very smart? Because that's not very nice, family. I'm sure they were smart with other things, like being bony and, did I mention being very hairy? Why they gotta have so much hair on their tush?
And may have even eaten meat. Number 4, Loch Ness Monster. People in Scotland have...
Loch Ness Monster family. I always hear this name of the monster, but I never know what it looks like. And now we have a photo!
claimed for centuries to see a huge mysterious creature in Loch Ness
it's in the water.
with a long neck and a dinosaur-like body.
Oh my gosh.
Despite sonar scans and underwater cameras, no one has found solid proof. Therefore, most scientists think the monster is a mix of hoaxes and mistaken sightings. But millions of years ago, something very similar did exist. The plesiosaurus. It wasn't a dinosaur, but it lived at the same time. With flippers like paddles and a neck as long as a giraffe's, it ruled the oceans for 150 million years. Then, like the dinosaurs, it vanished in a mass extinction.
Wait, the Loch Ness Monster is like the giraffe of land? Or the snake of the jungle?
Therefore, if plesiosaurus went extinct so long ago,
oh my gosh.
So how have people seen it in Loch Ness for over 1,500 years? The logical explanation is that someone found a plesiosaur fossil and mistook it for the Loch Ness Monster.
Or maybe they're both real? So family, you have to put in your vote. Comment down below if you think these creatures are real or a myth. And I'll heart your comment if I agree.
Number 3, giant serpents. Giant snakes show up in stories
Not
across
a giant
the world,
snake.
from Jormungandr in Roman tales to Vasuki in Hindu myths. But these monsters weren't all make-believe, because scientists found fossils of Titanoboa, a snake as long as a city bus, and Vasuki indicus, which was even longer, nearly 50 feet. Titanoboa lived in South America's swamps and crushed prey with its body. Vasuki was found in India, which links it back to the ancient stories. Therefore, scientists named it after the legendary serpent. So these weren't just giant snakes in myths, they were real hunters, bigger and scarier than all the animals alive today.
What the chicken nuggy? Family, usually snakes do wrap around their prey and squish them, or sometimes they even eat them in one bite like a rat. But these snakes are so giant that they're not only eating tiny mice, but they're eating giant dinosaurs too? What the chicken nuggy?
Number 2, dragons.
Woo! Dragons!
Baby Nuggy, roar is the sound that a lion makes. Not Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. And by the way, family, comment down below if you want me and Baby Nuggy to make Toothless How to Train Your Dragon videos. Cause we love Toothless.
Dragons appear in legends everywhere. In Asia, they are often shown without wings and soaring through clouds to control the rain. Meanwhile, European dragons are winged and known for breathing fire. Some believe these tales began when people found huge bones and imagined dragons. But millions of years ago, something just as amazing ruled the skies. Quetzalcoatlus. This flying reptile stood as tall as a giraffe and had wings wider than a school bus. It didn't flap like a bird, though. Instead, it launched itself into the air and soared like a glider. Some scientists think it also hunted on land, using its long beak to snap up baby dinosaurs. So what happened to it? The same asteroid that killed the dinosaurs wiped it out too. But its legacy lives on in hawks and eagles, just smaller and less terrifying.
Family, that is what they say. We used to have dinosaurs, dragons, with a giant asteroid that came and hit the earth. Everybody went kaboom. Whoa! Baby Nuggy, not you too! And that is the smelly kind.
Number 1, Cthulhu. Cthulhu is a creepy sea monster from a 1928 horror story. Said to haunt dreams from the depths of the ocean. But long before that tale, real sea monsters ruled the deep. One was Toothless, a massive squid-like creature.
Baby Nuggy, that kind of sounds like Toothless. I want to make videos on Toothless.
It had a hard shell inside, which made it stronger and faster than modern squids. It hunted giant fish and even baby marine reptiles. But like many others, it disappeared when the asteroid hit 66 million years ago. Cthulhu might be a story, but Toothless was real. And here's something to think about. We've explored only 5% of the ocean. So if monsters like that existed before, what else is hiding in the dark?
None of these creatures are anything like the creatures we're about to watch next. Well, family, I guess we gotta watch this next video, which has even 7 more crazy creatures! Family, smash like if you think these creatures are crazy. Kinda like me and Baby Nuggy. Baby Nuggy! It's not a rawr, it's a because that's what Toothless sounds like.
Today I'll show you 7 mythical creatures that
7 more
weren't just made up.
creatures!
They were real, and some of them might still be roaming our world today.
Oh my gosh,
7,
they're all
Hydra.
real.
You remember the monster Hercules fought? That terrifying beast with many heads? That legendary creature was called the Hydra.
Is it because he has a bazillion different heads? Thank you, Mr. Snakeskin, sir. But one giant creepy monster head is enough.
Sounds impossible, but here's the surprise. It actually exists. But don't worry, it's not exactly the nightmare from the myth. In ancient Greek stories, the Hydra was a deadly water monster shaped like a snake, known for one terrifying trick. If you cut off one head, two grew back. Even worse, its breath was toxic enough to kill. Hercules defeated this beast during his famous 12 labors, making it one of the greatest stories ever told.
You know which other monster's breath is toxic enough to oof? Just saying.
Greeks and Romans couldn't get enough of this story. It appeared everywhere, in paintings, pottery, sculptures, even coins. Clearly, this epic battle fascinated them deeply. But here's the twist. A real-life Hydra exists today. It's not huge or deadly, though.
Yes, it exists today in Harry Potter. A fictional story.
This Hydra is tiny, only about 10 millimeters long, about the size of a grain of rice. It lives underwater and catches its food using stinging arms. Here's where things get even stranger. Scientists discovered something shocking about this little creature. It might live forever. In 2015, researchers tried many ways to kill the Hydra. They failed every time. Why? Because each time, the Hydra's cells grew back, keeping it forever young. Therefore, this tiny real-life Hydra could teach scientists something amazing about living forever. Ancient myths imagined an unstoppable monster, but nature created something even more incredible. A creature that never grows old.
Live forever? Family, smash like on today's video if you want to live forever.
Number 6, vampire. We've all heard stories about vampires. Creatures that come back to life, drink blood, and hate sunlight. But could some of these scary stories be true? Stories of vampire-like creatures aren't new. They've appeared in nearly every culture around the world for hundreds of years. In Eastern Europe, scared villagers once believed vampires were in their towns, so they put wooden stakes in dead bodies, thinking it was the only way to stop them from coming back to life. But why did people believe these scary stories? Part of the reason is simple. They did not know what happens to a body after death. Sometimes a dead body's nails or hair looked longer. Other times, blood gathered around the mouth. These odd signs made people sure the dead were not resting. They thought something evil was at work.
Your nails grow longer after you oof? Chewing my nails is my dream! Baby Nuggy, what does that mean?
These stories did not stay only in Europe. Similar creatures show up everywhere. Strigoi in Romania, Spooky in Greece, Upir in Eastern Europe, Asenbosum in Africa, Betala in South Asia. But they all have one scary thing. They come back to feed on the living. Could vampires be real? Some real sicknesses fit vampires.
Oh, bro, you ain't a vampire, but you kind of look like one.
For example, porphyria is a rare blood sickness that makes people burn in sunlight, have painful wounds, dark pee, and sometimes act strange. Sound familiar?
Hope that's
Another
not
sickness
painful.
is rabies. Bats with rabies bite people, making them angry, see things that aren't there, or act odd.
Family, you always hear about animals biting people and potentially giving them rabies. Is this one of those times?
You may never know why stories say vampires hate garlic or silver, but rules like you must be invited in or you can't step on holy ground probably came from old fears and ideas. So Count Dracula is not real, but the fears and stories about vampires grew from real sights and real sicknesses. Number 5, Jersey Devil.
Jersey what?
Deep in the pine barrens of southern New Jersey, there's a creature that scared the woods for hundreds of years. Since 1735, terrified witnesses have described something truly horrifying. A monster that's part goat, part bat, and part kangaroo. But its head looks more like a twisted horse.
Excuse me? Didn't know today we were baking a creepy monster animal salad.
Crowned with scary-looking horns. At night, it moves quietly on 2 legs, ending in sharp split hooves. Witnesses say it unleashes loud screams that echo through the forest, terrifying anyone nearby. Farmers regularly reported missing chickens, stolen by this mysterious predator. In fact, one farmer even shot at the beast, but no one could figure out exactly what he had seen. The legend says it all started when the creature was born to a witch, the wife of Daniel Leeds. Moments after birth, it sprouted dark wings, shrieked loudly, and vanished into the darkness, leaving only panic behind. But the fear was at its highest in 1909, when newspapers exploded with sightings, causing schools to shut down and workers to lock their doors, too afraid to leave home. The Jersey Devil, as it's known, is still a mystery even today. Is it a real monster hiding in New Jersey, or just an old story that got out of hand?
I hope it's just an old story that got out of hand. Well, and wait a second, family. What just got out of mine?
Number 4, Ningen. In the early 2000s, Japanese sailors spotted something strange swimming near Antarctica.
Uh-oh, something in the water.
A creature with long, creepy arms and a body like a mermaid. Soon photos popped up online, claiming to show this mysterious being.
Creepy.
But sadly, most were proven fake. But here's the big question. Could a creature like the Ningen really exist today? Antarctica is huge, mysterious, and barely explored, so who knows what's hiding there? Scientists don't know for sure, but they have some surprising surprising theories. Some experts think the Ningen could actually be a swimming sloth called Thalassocnus. Sounds weird, right? But these sloths had long arms, perfect for swimming.
Teacher, question. Why do sloths have to swim? Nobody asks for that. Like, seriously, literally nobody.
Their fossils are often found in Chile and Argentina, two countries very close to Antarctica. Another shocking theory? The Ningen might be an ancient shark called Aquilolamna. This shark also had long fins, swimming silently through prehistoric oceans, just like stories describe the Ningen. However, fossil records show that Aquilolamna disappeared around 66 million years ago during a huge extinction event. But here's the twist. Sharks are nature's toughest survivors. Many have lived longer than dinosaurs and global extinctions. So what if Aquilolamna didn't disappear, but adapted, hiding in the frozen shadows beneath Antarctica? No one can say for sure. But the Ningen, whatever it is, remains one of the coldest, creepiest mysteries our world has to offer.
Family, there we go again with all of these animals and creatures adapting to stay alive in today's nature. Oh man, I think that one actually might be real.
Number 3, Mothman. Out of all the creatures on this list, Mothman is one of the most recent to appear. His story began in 1966. Not ancient legend, but modern mystery. His first sighting was in a small town called Point Pleasant in the state of West Virginia. And since then, the legend began to grow. Witnesses described a towering black creature with glowing red eyes, 7 to 10 feet tall, strong,
that's super tall,
yet far too massive to
that's as
be
tall
any
as basketball
bird.
players.
Sightings started on November 15th, 1966, and strangely, they stopped exactly 13 months later, on December 15th, 1967. Why does that date matter? Because it's the day the Silver Bridge collapsed during rush hour.
Are they trying to say that this Mothman had something to do with that bridge collapsing?
Killing 46 people, and 2 bodies were never recovered. Years later, author John Keel released a book called The Mothman Prophecies, claiming the creature was linked to strange activity and possibly even the bridge disaster. It was a bold claim, one that gave Mothman a chilling reputation. Over 100 sightings were reported in just that short window, and many locals later said they were too afraid to speak up at the time. That's a lot of fear for a creature no one truly understood. Was Mothman evil? That's the mystery. He never attacked, but people said he watched from a distance or banged on car roofs, especially when teenagers were inside. Compared to other scary creatures, that's pretty tame. Still, Point Pleasant never forgot. The town even built a statue in his honor, not because they loved him, but because his presence left a mark. Could Mothman have been someone playing a prank? Maybe. Or maybe something supernatural visited for a short time, caused fear, and disappeared forever. Whatever the truth is, the fear he sparked was real. That's why Mothman still haunts imaginations today.
Was Mothman evil? Well, I don't know, family. But his red glowing eyes sure say yes.
Number 2, hobbits.
Hobbits.
Everyone knows hobbits as brave little heroes from the movie The Lord of the Rings.
Right.
But what if I told you hobbits were actually real? Not in cozy homes with round doors, but in dark caves hunting dwarf elephants. In 2003, digging scientists made a surprising discovery on Flores Island, Indonesia. They found the bones of a tiny adult, barely over 3 feet tall. At first, scientists thought this was just a person with dwarfism, a condition that causes short height. But one strange feature made them think again. Unusually large, early human feet. Since then, even more of these tiny humans have been found. Scientists name them Homo floresiensis.
Ooh.
We know them better as hobbits, and they lived between 50,000 and 100,000 years ago, alongside bigger, stronger humans. With brains about the size of a chimpanzee's, you'd think they'd struggle, but they didn't. They made stone tools and hunted animals, showing they were smart survivors. So what happened to these real-life hobbits? Humans happened. When modern humans arrived in Indonesia, competition likely led to the hobbits' sad extinction around 50,000 years ago. Not exactly the epic ending from Hobbit stories. Yet, these real-life hobbits matter a lot. They show that human evolution isn't simple. Not everyone in our ancient family was big and tall. Some were small, clever, and completely different. Could these little humans have started local myths long before Tolkien imagined them?
Now, family, we made it to the end of today's video. The creepiest and most mythical creature we have today is...
Number 1, El Gran Maja.
El
Out of
Gran
all mythical
Maja.
sea creatures, one beast recently emerged online, and it's quickly become the scariest legend of our time.
the scariest water legend of all time.
Its name? El Gran Maja. Witnesses claim it lives somewhere deep in the Arctic Ocean, so deep that no sunlight reaches it. According
What?
to descriptions and illustrations, El Gran Maja is huge, over 2,000 feet long.
Whoa!
That's the size of 6 football fields end to end. Its mouth,
That's
a nightmare,
giant!
packed with hundreds of sharp teeth, wide enough to swallow a whale whole, and its face lined with 6 glowing white eyes that pierce through total darkness. But here's what made people start believing. A few years ago, researchers recorded eerie sounds from deep underwater in the Arctic. Scientists said it was probably just ice breaking apart, but others disagreed. They heard something alive, something mysterious, calling from below the ice. The most chilling story comes from a deep ocean trip. As the team lowered a camera into the deep hole, something massive passed by. Not clearly visible, but big enough to block out the light. The footage never went public, but crew members reportedly left the mission and never returned to sea. So, is El Gran Maja real? Science says there's no proof. Yet the ocean is huge, deep, and mostly unexplored, especially near the frozen Arctic. Our fear of strange sounds, hidden creatures, and endless darkness makes El Gran Maja seem not just possible, but terrifyingly real. Therefore, until we explore every hidden corner of the sea, El Gran Maja is still a scary mystery. Maybe just a myth, or maybe the greatest secret hiding beneath the ocean waves. But El Gran Maja is just a drop in the ocean. There are countless other creatures once dismissed as myth, yet proven to be real.
Oh, family, that's it. We've seen enough. Smash like on today's video if you think these creatures are real. And subscribe to AnythingAlexia right now before we hit 10 million subscribers. Go get Baby Nuggy and Saucy Nuggy at shoplexia.com. Me and all the Nuggy like characters love you so much. And we'll see you all in tomorrow's video.